Family, good morning. It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? Thank you so much for kicking it with me this morning. It is Feel Good Friday. How's everybody feeling on a scale of 10? Let me know inside the comment box. You better be feeling the 10. Yo, it's Friday. 100%. Yo, you bet. I get it. You know, you've taken some L's this week, but you've gained some wins, okay? There's some wins that you certainly have won. We'll discuss that all and more. We got an action-packed show. I appreciate you guys being here. If you listen to Wake Up Bama, thank you so much for your support on the podcast. I really appreciate it. The news doesn't stop. It is absolutely fluid as we continue to roll through this transfer portal season. The transfer portal, it ends on January 16th, give or take. So we'll see how it goes. And we'll cover the news as it comes in. There might be a couple spots where it gets a little bumpy, but as you know, it does work out. And Alabama has been able to be successful, I would say, in the transfer portal. And we're going to break it on down. There's some new guys that are on the board that Alabama has offered. There's some guys that have committed elsewhere. And look, this is constant, fluid, rotating thing. And I want to talk to you guys today about, Isaiah Horton, who hit yesterday. I thought that was interesting. I have a question for you guys regarding that. I'm going to talk about Jordan Ross, a target that just committed to LSU. Jacarius Peak, he committed elsewhere. But you have a new name on the board, which is Ty Haywood. Yo, you think that name made me really excited right off the bat, right? Ty Haywood. Cam Coleman is in town. Cam Coleman is in town. We will discuss that. And I have a poll right now asking, what do you guys think? Cam Coleman, just be honest. This is Portal Combat, and I appreciate you guys being here for kicking to me right now on Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, and again, thank you so much for all your support. A lot goes into this behind the scenes, and look, you guys support me, and I get that, and I appreciate it. So thank you so much for kicking to me right here on Bama Football on YouTube. As we go over Portal Combat, this is kind of some of the high points that we'll be hitting today. Jordan Ross, he just committed to LSU. LSU is going to get their commitments. We know this, right? This was a big-time prospect, a former 5-star out of Tennessee that was thinking about maybe coming to Bama, had scheduled a visit. He committed to LSU, and LSU did everything in its power to keep him from coming over here. And look, money. LSU's got cash, okay? And I don't know if that was the difference. I do like our edge rushers that we got here, but Jordan Ross committed to LSU in case you missed that. And then Jacarius Peak, right? That was a big name that everybody was interested in. The number one transfer portal target, he committed to USCE, that is South Carolina, all right? I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And what do we have? Solely points out graphic from, not from. Okay. All right. Let's see. We got to fix the graphics, right? All right. Let's see. Justin Ross, Jacarius Peaks. Where is it at? Okay. All right. Is it in like the beginning of the typo? Let me know. All right. Portal Combat. All right. Where's the typo? Let me know. I'll fix it. I'm responsible for all the stuff that goes on here, and I appreciate you guys giving me grace on that because there's a lot of typing that goes into this. Man, sometimes it gets a little bit overwhelming, to be honest, like covering all the news as it happens. So I just kind of stay, the course. I have a long list that I kind of go over and I continue to fine tune it. So we'll kick it. Okay, last line. Bama has landed 6. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Man, where would I be without you? All right, here we go. From Portal. There you go. Thank you so much. All right, and the best way to take care of something is obviously just to take care of it. All right, so thank you so much. I appreciate the grace on that. All right, let's go over this whole list. And again, once again, I'd appreciate you guys' help on this. Alabama's up to 21 in the portal. Why don't you give this a fine-tooth look over and see what we got right here? You see if there's anybody that we are missing. And what I did is I alphabetized it. I figured that would be the easiest way. I don't know why I didn't do that in the beginning. There's a lot of names. 21. And I was thinking about this. If there's a name that you see, just let me know, and we'll update it. The newest clearly is Isaiah Horton over here. The thing about it, I was thinking about, I had to take that jacket off. Whew. Man, transfer portal's got me hot. So the number out there, like the rough number, is 25%. This is crazy. 25% of the players in college football are in the transfer portal. Doesn't that blow your mind? And then I was thinking about it. Look, let's say Alabama has, 85, because they can have 105 on scholarship now. But let's just say they had what's the old number, like 87 or whatever, and you're at 21. Like the numbers check out, and I think it's for everybody. And look, I'm what HaHa Clinton Dix said really registered with me. And I was like, you know what? I want to dive into the numbers and kind of look at production, right? And he was right for the most part. Most of the guys left because there wasn't a lot of production there. But like a guy like Isaiah Horton, that was production. Would you consider catching 8 touchdowns production? I would, right? I think the Isaiah Horton thing, that didn't sit well with me. I didn't like that. I still don't like it today, and I want to ask you a question here in a second when I start talking about Isaiah Horton, because that was something that didn't sit well with me. Are we all buttoned up? It seems like we have everybody. A couple guys have found landing places. Jalen Ibakwe over here, Georgia Tech, same thing with Ionita, and then Olas Allen and going out to Kentucky, and then Wilcom Formby signed a big bag, instant millionaire going to Texas A&M, right? And the thing I want to talk to you about this, I was thinking about this during my workout, and I was talking with the guys. I think the transfer portal, stay with me here. Let me make this point clear. I feel that the transfer portal in this day and era has actually kind of, it hurts Bama. Now, Bama can get theirs for sure, and they're going to constantly reload. But I think a lot of these guys benefited from just coming over here, getting the Bama stamp, and then going and making more money. So it's like they come here for 1 year, maybe not even maybe they don't even have hopes to play here, or they're realistic. They're like, yo, I'm never going to play here. But if I go to Bama for 1 year, do you think they're smart enough to think like that? Do you think like the handlers and the agents are like, yo, go to Bama, sit for 1 year, and then hit the transfer portal? You will be stamped with like anybody that goes to Bama. We have the numbers here. You double your pay. So let's say Bama, they can't pay you the most. Let's say they pay you $120,000. Once you go to Bama and you're like you were there, you can go somewhere else for $315,000. You see what I'm saying? I think that certainly happens. And now, because who doesn't want somebody who's from Bama? You get what I'm saying? So I think in this era, it's certainly working like that. Because look, everybody wants the coaches, and it's the same thing with the players now. So you're up to 21. Does that mean that Alabama's going to add 21? Not necessarily. You got signings coming in, and I would imagine when you look at kind of that magic number of how many prospects you're going to be bringing in from the transfer portal, I would say definitely over 10, right? Is it over 15? I don't think so. So that is something that we're tracking. All right, but a lot of these guys going in, and then I was like, my big question for you, and I want to get to this bucket in just a second, but let me show you the kind of production, okay? You want to screenshot this, so there's a lot of data points here. I get it. I went through with a fine-tooth comb, and I went through all the production from this past season. All these guys have hit the portal, and what I wanted to do was like go and look at the actual production from each of the guys. And are these guys being maybe processed out, finding better landing spots? I don't know. A lot of these guys were in development, whatever. But I think the key guys that stand out to me, there's a lot of data, so I'll just kind of spotlight right here with my cursor. Isaiah Horton, would you consider this production? 42 receptions for 511 yards and 8 touchdowns. I think that's production, right? Wilcom Formby down here, like way at the bottom. I don't even know if you could see that. He had 816 snaps, but we know how that worked. But still, that's experience. James Smith had 422 snaps right here, 22 tackles. And then Quay Rusaw, kind of, his numbers were actually a little bit underwhelming. 215 snaps. I know he was hurt, but 13 tackles. But it is interesting to kind of look under the hood and look at the the production, right? It's like once you pop open the hood, I think it does give you kind of an idea of where we're at. Okay, so now, new graphic out, and I'd like to ask you, okay, I need your help. Which bucket, because, you know, I put players in 3 buckets in the transfer portal. Poached, Wants more playing time or trim and fat? And poached is like basically like, I guess, like more money. Right? Should we add that? So where would you put Isaiah Horton? What bucket should we put him in? Should we put him in bucket A, type A, if you think he was poached, type B, if you think he was, playing time, or do you think trimming fat, C? Go ahead and post inside the comment box. Oh, I think this is an interesting one. Yo, man, and a hell of a super chat to kick off the show. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Bruce, man, what's up, bro? Thank you so much. Coming in with the Feel Good Friday super chat. Thank you, man. Happy Friday and many blessings. Oh, absolutely, man. Blessings on blessings. Thank you so much, Bruce, for kicking it. Yeah, so everybody is saying, do you guys like this graphic? I like the bucket graphic. All right, so thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Okay, so I don't think C, Jacob. B is seeing Jarvis. I don't think B or a C, because like this was a guy. Well, actually, let's look at this. Are you guys saying C because of maybe like a financial aspect? I don't know how much they were paying Horton. I would imagine that Jalen Mbakwe was making more than Horton. That's why it didn't make sense for them, right? I think with Jalen Mbakwe, clearly it was like trimming fat, right? And not to say that he wasn't going to become a good player. I just think they looked at the financials and were like, yo, we're spending like, I don't know, $700,000. Yo, we need to free up some cash for some other players. Are you guys looking at it from like a cash standpoint, like trimming fat? Because if that's the case, then maybe so. And I'm going to show you a graphic here in a little while that shows you the wide receivers. They just have 5. They need wide receivers, right? Smitty is saying inside the comment box that he probably goes back to Miami. I didn't even think about that. And so did you see Isaiah Horton said? He said that he wants, that he just came here for Ty Simpson. And I was like, man, that's crazy. Like, there's no loyalty. There's no, like, I came here for the script day to get a degree from the University of Alabama. There's none of that. He don't care about the capstone. Although he did hit the Crimson Crane, and he did score 3 touchdowns against Auburn, so that was dope. So you guys think bucket – okay, there was more C's than I thought. But I'd like to put him in a bucket. So can we figure out which bucket? Who wants the final say on the bucket? Because we got to put him in the bucket. Should I just make the call? I'll say, let's see. All right, we need like some bucket music. I don't know. All right, let's get him, and we'll even turn him around, and we'll put him in this bucket right here. Is that cool? I'll just say poached, and I'll throw him in the bucket. And then we can go back and, like, look at all the guys that were dumped in the poached bucket. So I'll go A, final answer. All right? Is that cool? I thought he was good. I liked him as a receiver. I thought they could have utilized him more. The one thing that I will say with him is I don't think he had a lot of playmaking ability in terms of, like, explosiveness. I thought he was a good possession wide receiver, and he was used. He would probably do the same thing this coming year, right? Let's see what Jarvis has to say. Jarvis has to say this. Isaiah Horton and Isaiah Bond, oh, shoot, both became Iron Bowl legends and then dipped out. You're right. We can't, man. I thought it was so funny. Alabama would, like, their official site would, like, make, like, media cuts of the Iron Bowl, and then they'd cut out Isaiah Bond. Man. And we can't, yeah. Okay, that's the thing. No, yeah, Jarvis is right. No more players named Isaiah. Sorry. We need to, like, process out for three cycles. Okay? Can't trust them. But they do rise up in the Haunted Barn. Oh, my goodness. Robert Hell's feeling good on this Friday, too. Thank you, Jarvis. I appreciate it, dog. Robert is just here for a good time, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm telling you, I've been putting in the midnight oil. Man, thanks for, kicking it with me on the podcast, too. And last night was fun. We had a good time. Yo, that second half of that game, I'll talk about that game in just a minute. That game was good. Yo, shoot. And I have some points that I want to point out in that game. I don't want to make you mad, but I want to point out some things in that game that really stood out to me that I, kind of paralleling it between Alabama football and where those teams are at in the semifinals. Thought it was a fantastic game. I mean, Trinidad Chambliss, he throws that last pass, maybe a little bit shorter. Maybe they have a shot on it. I don't know. It was just a great game. Yeah, Ron, we're going to talk about the transfer portal guys in just a minute. Yeah. Okay. Let me give some AM shout-outs this morning. And first of all, we'll highlight Robert. Thank you so much, Robert, for that super chat. Really appreciate it. And then earlier in the show, we had Bruce Williams say thank you with a super chat as well, just feeling good on Friday. And then Jarvis, our boy, hit us up with the super chat talking about no more players named Isaiah. And I completely co-sign with that. Let's see who else is up in the house today on this. You guys feeling good on Friday? I'm feeling good on this Friday. I feel good. You know what? It hasn't rained in Tuscaloosa in a while, and it's absolutely pouring right now, which is cool. So I'm cool with it. The temperature is beautiful. It's 70 degrees right now, which is crazy for January. J-Dub, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Chris, G01. We got Anna, of course. We have Bruce Williams. We have Richard. What's up, Richard? Good to see you, man. Thanks for checking in. We got Smitty, but Smitty's always going to be known as Chad Kennedy. Something happened to our usernames a long time ago, and they all got switched up, so I have no idea. But we just rock with it. Fran, what's up, man? Good to see you. As always, Edward, good to see you, and good morning to you. We got Broderick coming out of Hillcrest High School. He's a Patriot. We got, is that cool, Broderick, if I refer to you as the Hillcrest Patriot? We got Army 32. You know what? Army, are you cool with this too? Because we've got to know each other for a long time, like a lot of our viewers, and we've kind of built a nice community. But I always like to say this, like when we're talking about blessings on blessings, Army 3275, this guy went through it. He beat cancer this year. Did you know that? So I always like to bring, actually last year, but I like to bring that up, man, because I still am grateful to God for you able to get past that, man. And I know there's a lot of people out there, like I always pray for Miss Jenny Cackney, who's going through it as well. So, we hold up those who are battling, and thank you for being here. And I know a lot of you sometimes will message me, and everybody's going through something. So I appreciate it, and thank you so much. But Army, I've always had you in prayers, bro, and I'm glad that you're doing well, bro. So thank you so much for being on the show, 100%. Rex Green, what's up, my boy? Good to see you, man. Always coming through with the facts. Wade's World, good to see you, man. Brian Harris Music, thank you very much for being here. Michael coming in with a super chat as well. Thank you, Michael. What's up, man? I appreciate it, man. That's a hell of a super chat on this Feel Good Friday. You guys, man, taking care of your boy, man. That's what's up. Marshall, what's up, man? Good to see you as well. I think I said what's up to you. Jarvis, good morning. We got BSK. Slovic, what's up, man? Miss Kimberly, of course. Thank you so much. Eagles, what's going on? Let's see. Bennett James, 79. Thank you so much. See what I'm saying? We will add you to our list. See? So Bennett James 79. See? Battling stage 4 right here. Do you see what I'm saying? So let me just say this, okay? If you're out there and you're going through something, just know that our prayers are for you. And it doesn't look, and we talk Alabama football, but we're people, right? And just know that I got you on prayers. And you can reach out to me, and I'll pray with you. So just keep fighting the good fight day by day, right? Because nobody's promised tomorrow anyways. So just keep fighting, keep praying, right? And be grateful for the small blessings that we have, all right? And if you need me to preach, I'll start preaching. But keep fighting, all right? Keep fighting. We love you. We appreciate you, all right? And see, you got the undefeated prayer for you. See, right here. You know what? There's like a cancer icon inside the comment box if you guys want to use that from time to time, all right? So keep fighting. Just know that everybody's kind of battling. But that's life, and you have to battle, right? And that's okay. And that kind of ties us into the transfer portal and kind of where we're at in life. And I know it's not as large as, something like, health issues, but still the thing is you have to battle in life, and you have to continue to push past adversity, and things are not always going to go your way. And I think what happens is the older that you get, you start appreciating smaller blessings. Am I right? You just appreciate zero drama. You appreciate a conversation with an old friend. You ever called up an old friend and just had a conversation? You know what I'm saying? And then I think that's what happens with life. So I don't know. Don't get my soapbox. Wade's World, what's up, dog? I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Here, Kyle, share. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the super chat. 100%, bro. I love you guys, man. You guys always take care of me. Thank you so much. All right. Here are my thoughts from this game last night. And I have to point some things out, okay? All right, stay with me here. Thanks again, Wade's World, and to everybody for the super chats. Thank you. All right, listen. Okay? There's a couple points. Do you agree with me on these points? And this was watching the game last night. All right? Miami ran the football 51 times for 191 yards, committing to running the ball. You see what I'm saying? I love that. You know what? And I was watching them, and I felt like those running backs, they were big, they were fast, they hit the hole hard, they had better offensive lines, but Miami committed to the run. They ran the ball 20 times for nearly 100 yards in the first half. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's commitment to running the football. And let me tell you this, okay, about Miami. When Miami got down inside the 5-yard line, there was one play that I didn't like that Miami did last night. But when they got down to the 5-yard line, what did they do? Did they pass the ball? Did they go in like a wildcat formation? Did they try to? No. They ground and pound. Boom, boom, boom. 3 times in the end zone. Right? There was a play in the first quarter that I didn't like. It gave me PTSD because they came out, it was a 3rd and 3, and they were moving the football. And they came out in wildcat. Right? And they didn't get it. Duh. You don't do wildcat on 4th and 3. And our boy, Mr. Harting, what's up, man? No, Ryan Williams is not in the portal. There's a bunch of fake news going out. I get it, man. Somebody said that Coleman committed too. He hasn't committed anywhere, and Ryan Williams is coming back. And, like, if any of that major news comes out, we, like, cut to it, and we'll go live right away. So, all good. And no question's a bad question. You have something, don't feel bad about asking something. It's just like back in school. If you don't know something, raise your hand and ask. Seriously, it's okay. Okay, they got the ball to their playmakers. This little Malachi Tony, they got the ball to him in great situations. That screenplay that they designed to him later in the game when he broke those tackles, that was great. That was a great play call, right? We need more of that. Like, and I think we kind of saw that in the SEC championship game when they were kind of designing some stuff to Ryan Williams, right? Do that with Lazier Brooks. Lazier Brooks would fit that exactly well, too, because he has great yards after catch. He's really strong after the catch. You can't take him down. And Ryan Williams, look, he might not be catching the long ball, whatever. If you little screens to him, he's one of the fastest guys on the field, period. Man, and Max is like Malachi is like Zachariah Branch. Dude, he might be better, right? That guy is blazing. And he's a true freshman, right? Yeah. Ryan said so really he should be in high school. He's one of those younger guys. Incredible. Malachi Tony's that guy for 100%. And look, Carson Beck, he made plays too. Would you agree? He made plays. A couple times I saw him, with the overthrow or whatever, but he made plays. Okay. Miami's pass rush, okay? This was the other thing that I think separated Miami. And if Miami is going to have an opportunity to win this thing, I want to see Miami and Indiana. Straight up. Do you guys agree? Do you guys want to see Miami and Indiana? That pass rush was nasty. Fast, aggressive. They sent pressure. And when they sent pressure, as good as Trinidad is, and I'm going to talk about him in a second, their commitment to rushing and blitzing often, that impacted the game. Ole Miss didn't have that many yards. They had a couple explosive plays. But as we get to Trinidad Chambers, that kid is sensational. Some of the plays that he's made over the last 2 games, I'll probably remember for a long time. Absolutely incredible. Straight warrior. And the thing about him, he's just a playmaker. Like, playmakers make plays. That guy has it. It's backyard football with that guy. And then I have to say this, too. The Ole Miss field goal kicker, you agree with this? Yeah, outstanding. 4 of 5. He almost hit a 60-yarder. Man, So I say all this for this game, not necessarily to recap it, but to point out a couple things. There's a clear line between Alabama in this next level, right? Commitment to running the ball. And I'm not saying go wishbone. I'm saying a balanced approach and let your quarterback, who's accurate and who's a playmaker, that will free things up. Get your ball to your playmakers, right? Get the football to you have playmakers. You only got 5 wide receivers, right? More pass rush. As much as I love Kane Womack and as good as the secondary is, more pass rush. There was so many times that they only sent three guys, right? Now, Trinidad is a guy. Do we have a guy like this at quarterback coming up? I mean, Austin Mack, if he wins a job or whatever, I don't know. He doesn't have that mobility, but he has a huge arm. He has a cannon. And Keelan Russell, that guy just seems like he has magic. And the kicker, this kicker, he was better than our kicker. Although Connor Talty started doing better in the back end, but this guy was fantastic. So anyways, there's a big difference between these teams and where Alabama was, right? And these two teams right here would have beat Alabama if they would have played last night. They would have, right? Yeah, Austin is not Trinidad, but Austin does have a big arm. I'm talking a cannon, and you can do different things with an arm like that, right? In Keelan, we just haven't seen a lot of opportunities, but man, with that guy has playmaking ability. I would like to see how he operates in the pocket, right? Kind of how he runs out. We haven't seen that much volume of him, but he has it. And the last thing that I'll say here before I move on, you have Mario Cristobal and, of course, Pete Golding, 2 guys cut from Coach Saban. The story with Mario Cristobal is great. I mean, he's done a lot, right? And he's worked to get here. Shoot, people didn't even think Miami was going to get in the playoffs, right? And you have Ole Miss on this side, all the stuff that they've been through, Lane leaving. Pete Golding's done an amazing job. He did an amazing job. To be honest, I was kind of pulling for Pete, but I knew that the better team was Miami. But I was pulling for Pete. I love the story. So, anyways, Miami will play the winner of Indiana and Oregon, which is tonight. What's the line on the Indiana-Oregon game? I didn't even have a chance to check. Off the top of my head, I'm probably going to say, Indiana, 5.5, over under 55. And by the way, it was 51 last night, 31-27. That is crazy. All right. Now, I know what you guys want to talk about. There's Danny Boy. What's up, man? Perfect timing for the question, right? And I got a new tight end that Alabama's offered. I have a new kicker that Alabama has offered, right? So all that is coming, I promise you. All the stuff that you want, we got it. And, yeah, it seems like we're going after another tight end. Why? I don't understand why we need another tight end. All right, I'll get to that in a second. Okay, so you all saw that Jacarius Peak, North Carolina State, the number 1 tackle in transfer portal, right? He committed to South Carolina later in the day. It was kind of you're like, oh, man, at least, I don't understand why he didn't even come to Bama. At least come over here. At least come take a visit. At least come see the offer on the table, right? I'm surprised Jordan Ross, he didn't come either, and Peak didn't come. Why aren't you guys coming here? Come get a taste, man. Come get a taste. See the offer. Bama can make it competitive, right? I don't get the no visit. I didn't get that. Yeah, an Eagles fan, we'll talk about Evan in just a second. It's a tight end that's been offered out of New Haven. Does anybody know where New Haven is, by the way? All right, so Jacarius Peak, he goes elsewhere. Literally, it was within 30 minutes, Jacarius Peak commits. Ty Haywood, remember Ty Haywood? Pops into the portal from Michigan. I kid you not, this is crazy. He was committed to Alabama for forever. So he decides in the final moments to sign with Michigan. It was a blow. It was weird, to be honest. I think it was just a cash thing, right? So you have a former 5-star who was committed to Bama. There's pictures of him with him and Coach Kalen DeBoer from, a year ago. 6'5", 315 pounds. Clearly, we'd welcome him. Clearly, right? You need an offensive tackle in. Eddie, I don't know if Diaz is going to be in or not. He's the wide receiver from Texas, Rio Grande, but I'll talk about those guys here in just a second. I'm going to talk about the big board. Just let me get through Haywood because this is a big one, right? So Chris is saying that Diaz is today. So there you go. Thanks, Chris. How would you guys feel about landing Ty Haywood? Because it seems like there's a lot of movement here. You good with this? Would you? Maybe this is the place that he wanted to be all the time. You know, I always go back to one conversation. It was like a podcast interview. Remember Javon Baker? Javon Baker's dad, remember the receiver? Javon Baker's dad admitted that they left Bama too early and that Javon Baker wanted to stay and that it was his dad being prideful that made him go elsewhere. Maybe, I'm not saying that was the case here, but maybe Ty Haywood wanted to come to Tuscaloosa and I have no idea. I'm just making this up. But maybe the family was like, yo, we're going out to Michigan. We got the big bag. And then when he got up there, he was like, yo, Ann Arbor ain't for me. Right? This isn't for me. This type of culture, they just got rid of the coach, all the stuff that's going on. I don't want to be here. There's bad juju here. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in Michigan. Right? He didn't play a lot last year, only 15 snaps. So on the board is Ty Haywood, okay? Also in the news, we are watching for Jimothy Lewis. Jimothy Lewis is 6'6", 320 pounds. He visited on Sunday, okay? 6'6", 320 pounds, 360 total snaps. Pass blocking and run grade, pretty low. I think this guy would be a reserve offensive lineman, but you need offensive linemen. So I think he's been predicted, so keep your heads on a swivel if he does commit. Right? And I would celebrate any addition that Bama gets. Like, don't look at these additions like, oh, man, you need big bodies. Okay? So Jimothy in. Yeah, I know. Jimothy, the name is I never met anybody named Jimothy. Right? Have you? Let me ask you this. Does anybody know someone named Jimothy? I'm dead serious. All right. So, all right, here's everything that you wanted to know, okay? And we'll continue to monitor this. This is kind of it's tedious work to do this, all right? But I do my best to try to update this frequently a couple times a day. And when I'm on live, this is kind of like the latest update, and then I'll update it on social media kind of throughout the day, all right? So we'll start on the top left, and we'll go all the way to Brock Reicher, and then we'll go all the way down. Is that cool? You guys cool with that? And is this, from a viewer's perspective, does this make sense? Can you guys see this in terms of, what we got going on over here? Because I can't even imagine. If you don't follow this, with the microscope, it must be, hella confusing. You're just like, what? Who? When? Where? Jimothy? What? Right? All right, you guys cool with this? Okay. All right, so I'll go through it, starting with the left, and these are targets and some additional info as well, okay? So a new name, clearly, is Ty Haywood, who I just spoke about. This is new. He's a left tackle from Michigan, right? You also have Jordan Ross, who just committed this morning to LSU, right? He's from Tennessee, edge rusher. He was a former 5-star as well. He never came to Bama, unfortunately. I have no idea why he didn't come. Then you have our boy Jimothy Lewis, offensive tackle who's been predicted to come over here, right? So we're kind of just waiting on the announcement, to be honest. You have DJ Chester, who's in town today. He's from LSU. Now, DJ plays center and left tackle. right? You also have Cam Coleman, who's in today, right? Receiver out of Auburn, the number one player in the entire transfer portal, right? Okay. You guys good? Yeah, Brock Riker, who everybody has offered. He's the guy on the far right. He plays center. He had over 800 snaps at center and had a very good Pro Football Focus grade. This young man over here, right? I don't know if he's visited or if he's planning to visit, but Alabama's in play for this guy, okay? We're waiting on, he's been predicted, Adam Watford. I don't know. This guy was pretty good. 43.6 yards per punt. I think a lot of people are after this guy, to be honest. Alabama needs a punter. They lost Blake Dowd. You have Alex Osbroff coming in. This guy'd probably be better, I would imagine. This guy's been like a 3-year starter at North Alabama. Bring him in. So, waiting for this guy. Carmelo O'Neal is a new name to know right here. He is a safety out of Mercer. 6'4", 200 pounds. He had 31 tackles, 700 snaps, right? And then I see everybody is talking about Tony Diaz, all right? Tony Diaz right here, okay? 5'11", 175 out of UT Rio Grande, right? Look, I'm a wide receiver, so sometimes I can get partial to wide receivers. This cat, his highlight tape is ridiculous. I'm telling you, like, whoever the scouting and they saw this guy probably has offers from everybody in the country, okay? He's ultra nice. He's a smaller wide receiver, but the guy has a big catch radius, elite speed, cutting, the playmaking ability. Grabbing Tony Diaz would be – you guys agree? Who's seen Tony Diaz's highlights? This cat's ridiculous. I'm telling you. I was like, UT Rio Grande? Where is that? I'm like, typed it in, and I'm watching. I was like, ooh, Yo, he had crazy catches. Really, really talented. Almost 1,000 yards last year. So Tony Diaz is a name to know. All right, we continue. We have Locron, Quinn. He's a kicker. The guy's from Ireland. So Lorcan, how would you say this name? Lorcan Quinn? He's from Ireland. He was at Marshall. I think he was 21 or 25 or something like that. So do you want a kicker to come in? I don't know. I am I crazy? I kind of like Connor Talty. Now, with Peter Nataro hitting the portal, I guess you need another kicker to come in. But Connor Talty, towards the end of the year, started performing better. After that, I don't know. From Auburn on, this guy was good. Matthew, what's up, dog? I see you inside the comment box. Good morning to you. So I like Quinn over here from Ireland, right? And then we have Evan right here from New Haven. He's a tight end. I don't know how to say his name. But you have a new tight end offer, which is crazy because we have, 7 tight ends or something like that? I don't know. I'll go ahead and get the tight end board pulled up if you want. But I don't know. Do we need another tight end? Yes or no inside the comment box? I'm serious. I think we have 7 tight ends or 6. Even that seems too many. We might have 7 tight ends. Yeah, and see, We Are Good People points this out. We have tons of scholarship. There's 105 scholarships, so they can literally load up and take everybody. They could take so many guys. Lorcan. All right, cool. Thank you. I don't think we need a tight end, in my opinion, but I don't know. But you're right. But the old way of thinking there's only like 85 scholarships, that's out the door. Now it's 105. So it's like Lorcan. All right, Dirtbike says Lorcan. All right, cool. And then Jacarius Peak over here on the bottom right, tackle. all right, that committed to South Carolina. So that is kind of the latest in terms of where things are at. Is there anybody that you want added to the board or moved off? I mean, eventually what I'm going to do as more kind of offers roll in, I'll replace like Jordan Ross. I'll replace Jacarius Peak. I just want you guys to understand, like, this is the board right here where we're at. And there's probably more guys that are on, that have been offered or whatever. But I think this gives you like a snapshot, right? Kind of paints like the big picture of like what we got going at Friday, January 9th. And as you know, this changes. The transfer portal is wild, right? Okay. So these are the key visitors to know about: Cam Coleman and DJ Chester, right? Those guys are in town today. I don't know at what time. Jordan Ross was supposed to be here. As I mentioned, he is not coming. Okay. So once again, I ask you to participate. Where do you think that Cam Coleman will end up? Type A for Texas, type B for Tech, type C for A&M, or type D for Bama? The next time I show this, I got to put B for Bama. But vote the way that the poll says right here on the screen. What you guys think? I feel a little – I talked to another source yesterday, and I'm kind of feeling good about Cam Coleman, right? You imagine if Bama – because I don't know where they are. I think they're like way down in the transfer portal rankings. I'm talking like way down. Can you imagine if – because the narrative right now, is it not, that Alabama's like poor, right? I think they're just really, you got to be financially responsible as well. Dell Simmons says this: I think Cam chooses Bama just because he didn't commit yet, and we have Nix. I like this idea. I think Derek Nix, the wide receiver coach, is a great inside source to Cam. This is a guy who's obviously provided some coaching, maybe some mentorship, right? Isn't that what coaching is? Over the last couple of years, he's been with Cam. He's like, come over here, man. You'll be the guy. Look at the quarterbacks we have. We're building an offensive line. We're going to run the football a little bit. It's like, come on down, man. And Army says Horton leaving kind of increased our odds. I was thinking the same thing too. And maybe that goes back to kind of like trimming the fat. Maybe Horton was getting paid a good amount. I mean, he was Miami's like number one wide receiver, right? The year before, or one of them at least. I don't know. So we'll figure it out and we'll cover it. If he does commit, hopefully I'm around my computer or my phone, and we'll go live and we'll celebrate it together. That would be, talk about breaking the internet. That would be breaking the internet, right? Okay, new offers, as I mentioned, Carmelo O'Neal, right? I believe he's in town or just recently made a visit, and then someone inside the comm box said that Tony Diaz is also in town. So O'Neal had 32 tackles last year at Mercer in 767 snaps, and then Diaz had 67 catches, 881 yards, and 11 touchdowns. Okay, so those are some new prospects on the board. From an overview, you're like, okay, well, who do we have? Well, I got you covered on that too. So far, Alabama has 6 from the transfer portal. Count them up. Josh Ford committed in December 2025. Big tight end. He's like an inline tight end, right? We like him. 6'6", 260. You have Hollywood Smothers, who committed on Monday. Isn't me, or does Monday seem like it was weeks ago? Right? Isn't that crazy? Doesn't Monday seem long ago? For me, it does. For me, like, Hollywood Smothers, this is still new. Like, it's news. It happened Monday. But he's like, Hollywood Smothers has been here already. It's so weird how it happens, but it's only, that just happened on Monday. Think about all the stuff that's going to happen by next Friday. Shoot, this whole board, I'd imagine, be filled out. Josh Ford's in. You have Hollywood Smothers in. You have Caleb Woodson, right? Great addition. This was such a key addition right here, fam. And I guess my question when we start, and we're going to do roster breakdowns in February, right? But I want to understand who's going to be the second and third inside backer on this team. I don't know yet. I don't know. You got Devin Tompkins in from USC. I think this was a really good pickup as well. I like that. I mean, big dude coming in, defensive line. You needed somebody. You got somebody from, 6'6", 285 pounds or 6'6", 300 pounds. Love it. Wow, Woodson was a team captain too? That's incredible. Yeah, good scoop right there. And then Caden Strayhorn, right? He came in from Michigan. You needed a center, right? And then you have Ethan Tangle, who committed yesterday. He's a long snapper. You need a long snapper because David Bird left, right? Woodson too small? I don't know. Dano, he's 6'3", 230 for an inside backer. You don't like that? I think that's good size. All right. Okay, so that's the commitment so far. We'll continue to update this board as we move forward, okay? And you're probably out there, you're like, well, how important is the transfer portal game for Alabama in terms of production? Well, I got that for you too. I ran the numbers, and here are the transfer portal production numbers from this past season. Alabama is going to utilize its transfer portal players. Journey Bernard, right, a 2-year transfer. Parker Brailsford, a 2-year transfer. Josh Cuevas, a 2-year transfer. LT Overton, a 2-year transfer. Gino Vandermark, 2-year transfer. Cam Dewberry, that was 1 year. Damani Jackson, 2 years. Keon Sabb, 2 years. Isaiah Horton, 1 year. Nikai Hill-Green, 1 year. Deshaun Jones, 2 years. And Kelby Collins, 1 year. But you see how important it is for Alabama to get these transfers in. I mean, this used to be kind of like waiting for your freshmen to grow up and to play. Now it's about, you're talking 12 guys right here. That's a lot. Look at all the snaps. That's a lot of volume. That's a lot of production. The production is within the transfer portal. Look at the numbers. Yeah, freshmen played for sure. Dejon Lee played. Michael Carroll played. Lazier Brooks played. Good amounts. But as you can see, the transfers are a much bigger part of how good your team is going to be. That's why this part in the season, January 2nd to 16, is so important in terms of evaluations. It must be stressful for Courtney Morgan having to go. That guy must be just watching tape and making okay, that guy's got it. That guy doesn't. That guy got it. Okay, that guy's off. Can you imagine? I'm busy. I can it must be insane in that war room. What's up? Taylor Wright says this. How many years did it take Cristobal to make the Natty? What is that number, by the way, Taylor? Max? How long has he been there? He's been there 4 years, something like that? That was we talked about the game in case you missed it. That was a great game, bro. That ending was stellar, right? Ole Miss was fighting for sure, 100%. Dell points out that Deshaun was on the upward trajectory. I think he did well. Yeah, he came through, and the good thing was it was kind of like the perfect passing of the torch, because as soon as he was kind of coming to the end of his career, you had Red Morgan starting to rise up. So it's that's exactly what you want, right? You have a transfer, and then you wait for the younger guy to develop, and then now Red Morgan will be that guy. So a lot of transfer portal production. Okay, now. Yesterday, we had Isaiah Horton hit the portal, right? So I wanted to bring this graphic to your attention because here's a look at the receivers now that you just have 5 guys on the squad. Okay. How big of a loss would you say Horton is? And I guess that's hard to answer right now because you're like, well, not a lot if you get Cam Coleman in. But this guy caught 8 touchdown passes last year. I think it was a blow, and it caught me off guard. I didn't anticipate him to hit the portal. I thought he'd go to the NFL. Right? So here's kind of the wide receiver room. I'll go full screen so you could see it. And what does it look like, right, without Isaiah Horton? And let's see what our friend Morty says inside the comment box. He says, Kyle, the brand took a hit, bad, and the players don't want to come where we are going back to the dark ages. Kyle, facts are facts. Sorry, Kyle, not. No. I think a lot of people might see it this way. And I have heard this, that there are some people that a lot of this, there's some players that I've heard from back sources that have an issue with Ryan Grubb. I'm dead serious, 100%. He's not, look, there. I don't think there was some Seattle players that didn't like it. Not everybody's going to like everybody. And I think like Cam is saying, kind of that the thrill is gone, kind of the aura of Alabama's gone. I don't know. I mean, Rose Bowl, 11 wins. I think what people are still reeling from too, like I always say, is that loss. That loss, 38-3 or whatever in the Rose Bowl, that takes a long time. You go over like you ever heard of like the stages of grief? It takes a long time to get over that. But after a while, like you step out and you see, some of the positives that they have going on, it feels a little bit better. But I get it, man. That it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, 100%. I'm not denying that. And I do feel that, and I've been honest with this, is like the closer that DeBoer stays to Grubb, I think that people are going to be really upset and frustrated, and the expectations now are even higher the closer that he keeps Grubb to him. And I say this often, I think one of the biggest steps for Coach Kalen DeBoer, where he wants to go, is he might have to make some coaching changes to some people that he's really close to. And I see Coach Kalen DeBoer as a good person. I see him as the players absolutely love him, but I think he's loyal to a fault. And in this business, in the NFL light, that's not going to go far because you got to make changes. We all saw it. Watch the offensive coordinators last night, the way that they're operating. Look at the play calls. Some of the plays that Ole Miss was calling down inside the red zone, same thing with Miami, were fantastic. So, and you're probably like, well, what does it look like without Isaiah Horton? Well, I got you covered right there too. So you have, look at this. This is all the receivers that you got. Now, we got some guys in here. Where'd Lottie Brooks' name go? Oh, there it is. It's up at the top. Come on, man. All right, slide that over. Slide that over. Slide that over. Okay. I was like, where did Lazier Brooks' name go? And it's still off-centered. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm too A-type, fam. Got to change that. All right, cool. Got it. So, yeah, we need wide receivers. And I think, like, if you're out there and you're like, Tony Diaz is great, is that kind of like a safety valve in case you don't get Cam? No. Like, you need multiple wide receivers. You need a lot of guys, right? Let's see what Lag Gaming has to say. Lag Gaming says this. I see Bama Doomers are out in full force today. Yeah, look, and I think this week is like EKG, right? The highs and the lows. But watch how high it goes if you're able to get, Cam Coleman checks in. Talk about a high, shoot. Imagine you get Diaz and Coleman, I don't know, by Saturday or whenever. Neil, I agree with this right here. And this is not about lowering standards. I just think now with so much parity, winning a national championship, and specifically, that's why I'm gonna be floored if Indiana is able to go undefeated this season. I would have never thought in this climate that anybody can go undefeated anymore. Now, look, I don't want to take away anything from Indiana because Indiana absolutely kicked the teeth in of Alabama. But that schedule, I still feel that schedule was light. You agree with me? I still feel like overall that their schedule, like pound for pound, it wasn't that tough. But they still dominated Bama, so whatever. And they looked the part too, and they were the part. Shoot. All right. Okay. Running back room. There's a lot of guys here. All right. I also heard from a source that there's no expectations for any running backs to transfer. No expectations for any running backs to transfer. So it looks like this room is pretty solid. A lot of guys in here, right? And a good variety of backs. I think, Daniel Hill clearly being the biggest back that we got. I put the stats in detail. I don't know if you could see them, but last year, Smothers, 160 for 963 or 939, 6 touchdowns. Daniel Hill, 75 for 284, 6 tutties. Kevin Riley, 59 for 244. A.K. Deere, man, didn't get a lot of playing time. 19 for 140, 3 touchdowns, and then you welcome on in absolute 5-star crown jewel Xavier Crowell, and then I see another typo. Xavier Trayshawn Brown. We got to fix his name. When's the best time to take care of things, fam? Right now. All right, we took care of that. So there's your running back room. You guys feel we're always going to feel good about our running back room, right? I mean, it's Bama. But clearly, there was a big difference in watching those guys last night and watching our running backs. And I would guarantee you, if I ask you right now, do you think that Hollywood Smothers runs for 1,000 yards? I guarantee you're going to say no, right? I would say no. I don't think look, Bama hasn't had a 1,000-yard running back since 2021. Ironically, the same year that they last had a 1,000-yard wide receiver. Except in 2021, I think it was J-Mo that caught for like 1,500 yards or something crazy like that. Let's see. What's up, Matthew? Kyle, if you are on the defense and Coleman, Williams, Brooks lineup, man, I don't know. That's a difficult trio. And then you have Sedari Morgan that you could rotate out, right? Derek Meadows, I think he's going to continue to blossom. There's your 5 right there. Here's your offensive lineman. How are we feeling here? Oh, I guess it's time that we could put Strayhorn in this graphic too, right? We could add Strayhorn because he committed. That's what we'll do. So we'll start to build this out with the offensive line that committed as well. So this graphic right here does not have Strayhorn, but I will add him. So Strayhorn will be added to this graphic, and then maybe you get, I don't know, Jimothy or DJ Chester or something like that. But so Alabama really has 12 offensive linemen, and then the guys that they recruited as well. So there's more. They recruited 5 guys from the class of 2026, including a junior college prospect. So what is that? 16, 17. So they have 17 offensive linemen. These are actually no, they don't, Kyle. These are here at the bottom. My bad. Sorry, fam. These are the signees here. So they have 12 offensive linemen. Todd says that Coleman hasn't visited yet. Well, isn't he coming today? Today's not over. Todd, what do you think? Do you think he comes? All right, so these are your offensive linemen. We'll add Strayhorn as well. So you have 12. All right. Okay. These are our live show sponsors right here. Well, that was quick. Thank you so much to everybody for becoming a sponsor of the show. how to do that, hit the join button. There's different levels. I really appreciate you guys, whether you're super chats or you become a sponsor, whatever it is. Thank you so much. I'm supported by you guys. And as you know, like, this is my full-time job, and I put so much into it, all the graphics, all the legwork. I do literally everything 100% by myself. So thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate you guys. And then also, video is powered by Sleeper. Get a $100 deposit match up to $100. Use the promo code, which is tailgate. And you can make more or less picks on tonight's game between Indiana and Oregon or the NFL playoffs. You can sign up for Sleeper. I know there's a couple people that use Sleeper inside the comment box. I definitely do. I love it. I was a fantasy football champ, and I've had some good runs on Sleeper. So check them out. The promo code that you have to use is tailgate. Available in 25 states. Terms and conditions apply. So check them out. That is Sleeper. Do you guys want to take some calls? Look, if we take calls today, if you called in yesterday, you're giving a rest today. Okay, so you called in yesterday, you had your shot, we talked. Today is for new callers. So if you didn't call yesterday, you can call today. And the show works better, as I've clearly explained a bunch of different times, when we have a variety of calls. Okay, so don't be a show hog. There's a lot of people that want to call in and give their voice. So you guys want to take some calls? Let me know inside the comment box. You guys cool? You guys want to talk some questions? We will. Let me set it up, and we'll do some call-ins. You guys, if you want call-ins, do the thumbs up, and we'll take some calls. Give me 1 second while I set this up. I appreciate you guys being patient as I do 5 million things at once. And to be honest, I like taking the calls. It's good. I like the variety of calls, and it's good. It's just, I think it makes the show better, to be honest. All right, 1 second. And I've had the call-in line for a long time. I've been doing this on Bama for like 10 years. I think this is 10 seasons. This will be my 10th season, something like that. But now, there's so many shows and there's so many great content creators. I think it's great. There's so many people that have entered this space. I love it. Because you used to have to like subscribe for all this information and stuff like that, but now it's just out there. All right, so let's see. Okay, I think we're good. All right, yes, we are. Okay, you guys ready? Fine bomb time. All right. Okay, we will. We got a 702 that we're gonna take first. I appreciate it. Let's go. I get this. Is this Vegas?
It is Vegas. It's but I live in Alabama. But I'm retired Army, and I just happen to have my old cell phone number. Everybody had it. I didn't want to change it.
Okay. Well, what's your name?
Bama. My name is Tom.
Okay. Well, first of all, Tom, before we get to it, we just want to say thank you for your service. We appreciate it. Okay. We understand here at Bama Football on YouTube that freedom isn't free. So if you have served in the military, or if you're serving, we appreciate your all service. Thank you so much. Tom, calling from Alabama. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you much, Kyle. So, talking about the offensive line a little bit, I know people have just lost their mind because everybody's transferred out. I, for one, I don't have a problem with it because if you look at last year's offensive line preseason rankings, if you believe the hype, they said we had the best offensive line in the country. Well, somebody forgot to tell the players because they were reading it and they just didn't show up. They couldn't block. They couldn't run, and it cost us. It cost us big time. I think if you look at Kalen DeBoer and who he recruited, there were two players on that team that stood out. Parker Brailsford, his center, and Jeremy Bernard, his wide receiver, okay? Those were the starters on the line that he recruited, okay? They were at Alabama and all, but he didn't really get a full shake when his first year he came here. He had to salvage Saban's recruiting class, This year, if you look at the players he's recruited, he's got some dogs coming in. I'm excited about it. I mean, you look at these freshmen coming in 6'6", 308, 6'6", 322, 6'5", 312. Those are still good-sized boys, but they're athletic. That is going to be the difference. We're going to see we'll have a smaller but more athletic offensive line this year, and I think we're going to surprise some people. I do see us having a 1,000-yard rusher because I think we're going to lean on rushing the ball.
Tom, is there anyone in particularly that stands out when you're kind of looking at some of these younger offensive linemen, as you had pointed out, maybe like a Jackson Lloyd? I know Michael Carroll, turned out to be the starter at the right tackle position as the season went on. A lot of people were talking about Jackson Lloyd and being kind of a super athletic individual. He's massive, too. He's like 6'7", 330, and we've heard really good things about William Sanders. Are any of those names, or maybe a guy coming in within that 2026 class?
I see a youngster coming in. I mean, I think it's wide open. In other words, if you try to take a square peg and knock it through a round hole, if you got a big enough hammer, you can make it work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's basically what DeBoer did. If you go back and look at Kalen DeBoer, he's been successful at every program he's been at, okay? The reason being the man has his ideas and his philosophy what works for him, okay? Just like when Bear Bryant passed away, I'll go back. Everybody thought Ray Perkins was the man. There was enough talent there to compete, but they really didn't do what he wanted to do. So, it took a molding to find somebody, and then we went through coach after coach after coach. Well, we finally found a coach in Bill Curry who actually could coach football, was extremely successful, but he didn't fit the Bama standard at that point as the fans had our standard. He wasn't one of Bear Bryant's boys. He was an outsider, and they didn't want to accept him. But could Bill Curry coach football? Absolutely. Was he the right fit for Bama? He could have been had we have allowed it, but fans put pressure on him, and the boosters reacted, and they ran him off. I mean, getting a brick thrown through your window probably didn't help, but with DeBoer, I see him here for the long haul, brother. The football game has changed. You need somebody that's going to evolve with it, and I think we're going to see a lot more of a speed game going this year. With Hollywood coming in at running back, he's going to be elusive out of the backfield. I see him getting a lot of touches. I think we're going to be using a lot of screens, and that's what you have to do to neutralize these pass rushes is you got to have a screen game. Well, the problem is if their linebackers are as fast as your receivers, you're not going to get any separation, and that's where we've been hurt is we just haven't had players get separation. And when they do get separation, they've not caught the football. We've had several drop, and I'm not going to dog out any kids, but I think we know who we're talking about, and they need to really focus on, making the catch before you score. Always secure the football. I mean, when I played football, if we fumbled or dropped it, we had to carry a football with a handle around school. It was embarrassing. Maybe we need to go back to that.
You have to drop a pass, run a mile, drop a ball, run a mile. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in, Tom. Really appreciate it, man. Good call, and I appreciate your service, man. Thank you so much. All right,
Thank you, Cal.
Tom calling from Bama. All right, 334, welcome to the show. Hey, yeah, how's it going? Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
This is Matt from Millbrook, Alabama.
Hey, Matt, thanks for calling in from Alabama. I appreciate it. Come with it, bro.
How you doing, Carl? I like the show, man. I like that you go live. I think you're one of the only Alabama channels that goes live, so that's really nice. I just want to call in really and kind of talk about the fan base and, like, the divide that we're having in the fan base right now, supporting the coaches and, like the last guy was talking about, the players and, you don't want to be mean to these players and the coaches, and they're trying their best and everything. But, here in Alabama, I got aunts and uncles that won't talk to each other over football, and I'm not necessarily proud of that, but that's just how it is in Alabama. We care so much about football. It affects, our daily lives. We're just naturally, this is just how we feel about football. We love football down here. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to be critical of the coaches, of the players. They are kids, but also these guys are getting paid a lot of money now. So, if you're getting paid a lot of money, we expect you to do your job. And I don't think anybody's above criticism. This is the real world. Anybody, you go to your job, you don't do good, you get criticism from your boss. That's just realistic, how the world works. And, I think the fan base has got to get on the same page. Like the previous caller was saying, Bear Bryant. when Bear Bryant left, it took time for Alabama to rebuild and to get back to where they were supposed to be. And I think we're just going to have to accept that as fans, that it's going to take some time, and we're going to have to be patient. Saban said on McAfee the other day that, we lost a lot of good players when he left in the portal. And, it's just going to take patience. It's going to take time. I've been one of those people that's hard on DeBoer, hard on the players.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, like I said, it's tough because you want them to be good, but you still love the team. It's almost like I'll be so mad at the team, but here I am, in your lives every day, watching, supporting, following the team, So it's just a tough balance. And I think the fan base needs to all try to get on the same page and say, look, guys, we need to just be thankful. We won so much. We won so many natties, and, it's like a box center, MMA. You knock so many people out, eventually you're going to get knocked out. And you got to deal with that. And, it's going to take time to get back up and build ourselves back up. And we just need to try to be supportive. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with being critical or, just having criticisms. And that's just how we are in Alabama. We want good teams.
I mean, yesterday, Matt, for example, Jay called in from Florence, and he was like, look, let's just be real. And Jay's a longtime caller, and he grew up in Florence. And he's like, we live and die off Alabama football. Like, our grandmas know about Alabama football. We don't have a lot to brag about here in Florence. He's like, we brag about Alabama football. So he's like, that is the way of life here. And I, now living here 10 years, I fully understand it. I know, I talk about this often. I know a 90-year-old lady here, I promise you, lives in Greensboro, knows, I promise you, I'm not exaggerating, every single thing I talk about on the show. I don't even think she knows the show exists. She knows everything in Greensboro. So that's how it is. And we're going kind of through this new wave of college football that is new for everybody. That doesn't mean for standards to go away. It's just, losing and losing like that is not it. And that resonates with a lot of people. But I appreciate it, Matt. Thanks for calling in, brother.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Absolutely. All right. 938. Hey, welcome to the show. Who am I online with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, this is from Missouri.
I'm sorry, your name cut out when you said your name.
Timmy. It's Timmy again.
Oh, Timothy. Do we have a new phone?
My other phone is dead.
All right, yeah. All right, welcome. You could boost the audio just a little bit, Timothy. I appreciate you calling in. All right, Timothy on the road from Missouri. Come with it, bro.
Right.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. I was watching that game last night, and I heard one of your shows earlier. I think it was you talked about earlier how Miami committed to running the ball 50 times, and I had a broken heart listening to that because we only run the ball for like 20 times, and it is embarrassing.
Yeah.
But there's one guy from Ole Miss, and he used to be a former Tide player when Saban recruited him. I want Caleb Odom back. If I know, their season's over with, there's going to be a lot more people in the transfer portal when their team loses. Heck, they just lost their coach. They're losing their quarterback. I think Caleb Odom leaves too. And what better way than to come back here, because we will have that 6'4", 6'6" guy, tight end / wide receiver who is kind of quick, who can get 50-50 jump balls. I know, like, he didn't produce a lot here. He had, like, 5-10 catches maybe. But I know that's a little bit of a hot take to say, but I kind of want Caleb Odom to come back.
I don't know, Timothy, you know what? No, Timothy, okay. Look, the allure about Caleb Odom, because when he first came, I was so excited because I thought he could be kind of like this. It's weird. I'm looking for like a unicorn at tight end. I'm looking for this guy that is like 6'5", 245, that can be like a takeover tight end type receiver. And I thought Odom was going to be that guy. But when he came over here, I felt that it was like a lot of attitude. And I thought it was like kind of entitlement. And then when he just bounced out to Ole Miss, it kind of left like a really bad taste in my mouth. People change and stuff like that. I don't know how I feel about Odom. But look, they only have 5 wide receivers, so you can't be picky. And you know, it's like, okay, come back and let's shake hands and move forward. But what else you got, Timothy? Did you watch that game last night? Any takeaways from Ole Miss and any additional takeaways?
Man, I was pulling for Ole Miss because of this. They're the Cinderella story. They are the Cinderella story because their coach left. And it's like what Jake Crane said. He left that girlfriend for a hotter girlfriend. So then, like, now that person has to, like, upgrade. So, like, I feel like Ole Miss is in good hands with Pete Golding, which sucks to say because Pete Golding wasn't as good as the defensive coordinator here. But I feel like they are in good hands, though. But I'm really intrigued about this Miami team. It's crazy to think about. They were on the chopping block of making the playoffs, and they are in the national championship game against Miami or Indiana. And this is the hottest take of them all.
Okay.
I feel like if Oregon beats Indiana, which I think it'll happen because this whole season, other than Ole Miss playing Tulane, every team that has played twice has lost. Ole Miss lost to Georgia the first time. They beat Georgia the second time. Alabama beat Georgia the first time, lost to Georgia the second time. Indiana beat Oregon the first time. They're going to lose to Oregon the second time. Oregon versus Miami. I got Miami obliterating them because of that defensive line. I got Miami winning their first natty, and I think the U is back. The U has been back, and I feel like they're going to be a force to be reckoned with for the next couple of years. But that's all I got, Kyle. I just want to hop on and talk a little bit of football.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Good call, Timothy. I appreciate the call, man. You know what would be crazy is if Mario Cristobal, if Timmy's prediction comes through, I think Indiana wins, by the way. I don't know. I get it. It's because we saw Indiana and what they looked like. I just think that they beat Oregon. For some reason, I don't like Oregon. I don't know what it is. It's like, I don't know, something. But I think this would be crazy. If Mario Cristobal plays Dan Lanning. Remember, he used to coach at Oregon, right? 2017, he was the, co-offensive coordinator over there? Am I right? I think that's right. All right, 352.
Hey, how you doing, Kyle?
What's up, man? Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Yeah, I'm Marvin. I'm calling from Gator Nation. I'm the Tide fan from living in Gator Nation.
Oh, man. How's it going down in Gator Nation for you?
Well, like I said, it's kind of quiet right now, and stuff like that, and they too going through their coaching change. They're trying to get everything situated themselves. So, okay, but the thing I want to talk about, after the debacle in the Rose Bowl and stuff like that, the thing I want to talk about is this. On the off season, I think Alabama needs to pretty much focus on playing complementary and what Indiana played, complementary fundamental football, like he used to do. So that way you can tell in the game that Indiana was fundamentally sound. And Bama needs to get back to that, in my opinion, So what you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, as I pointed out, I keep on going back to this stat, and what Timmy, the last caller, was talking about is, in my mind, like fundamental football, and that's something that Indiana did, was like committing to running the ball. And that doesn't mean like just going all in 100% running the ball and just becoming a running team and, losing sight of your wide receivers. But I think Indiana, they ran the ball 51 times against Alabama, and Miami ran the ball 50 times against Ole Miss. That's not a Yeah, there's no coincidence. That they wanted to do that. That's part of the game plan, and that opened up other things for their passing game for Carson Beck to make plays, for Fernando Mendoza to make plays. I mean, it just seems so simple, but we keep on going back in here, and I like your take on this, Marvin, as we kind of, figure out what happened last season. Was it on Grubb? Was it on the offensive line? Was it on the running backs? What's your take on why Alabama finished 125 in the run?
Well, like the old saying goes, everything games are won and lost right in the trenches.
Yeah.
If you don't dominate them trenches, nothing works. I don't care what kind of talent you got. Nothing works unless your offensive line dominates the line of scrimmage and your defensive line do the same thing. In other words, they got to do what?
Yeah.
They got to set the tone. They got to set the edges. They got to reestablish the line of scrimmage. And if they can't do that, nothing works.
Yep. All right, good call, Marvin. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling in, and I enjoyed the dialogue, man. Take it easy in Gator Nation.
Yes. Okay. Yes, and one more thing too. Who you think Kalen DeBoer will have for his tight ends coach now, since they elevated Coach Ellis to the quarterback coach, because he used to be a quarterback at UAB?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I saw that. I mean, number one, before you go, Marvin, we're tight end crazy over here. We want as many tight ends as possible. They even offer. We have 6 tight ends, 7 if you add Danny Lewis, who could come back. He had surgery. He could get a medical redshirt. So let's say you have 7 tight ends. You offered another one from New Brunswick, a Division II school. That would be 8 tight ends that you have on board. I don't know. Maybe you need 2 coaches to coach tight ends. I don't know. Good question though, Marvin. I'll talk to you next time, bro. Thanks for calling in.
I would say get a former Bama tight end.
Bring in, who would that be? OJ? Bring in OJ Howard?
Maybe OJ Howard, or maybe Hell Henderson, or even Patrick Hape.
My favorite tight end was bringing Miller Forrestall. He wasn't bad.
Okay, yeah, he was pretty good.
All right, take it easy, Marvin. Thanks for calling in, bro. All right. See you, Marvin. Thanks, brother. Yep. All right.
All right.
How about, you know what? Where is Irv Smith at? Remember Irv Smith? I wouldn't mind seeing more kind of some younger Alabama players join the staff. I mean, look at Ha Clinton Dix. I mean, he's defending his brand. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about 8 tight ends, but like I was saying, now that you have 105 scholarships, you're going to have it. It doesn't matter. You're just going to have guys coming over here just to develop. But I think what is going to happen, like I was saying earlier in the program, some of these guys are just coming over here to get stamped by Bama, and then they'll be in the transfer portal next year. I'm dead serious. Hey, go to Bama, 1 year, work out with the team. You're from New Haven, bro. Go to Bama. Are you going to play? No, but you'll be at Bama. All right? Get the Bama stamp. New Haven, Bama, Georgia Tech. You know what I'm saying? It's smart. 281.
Hey, good morning.
How's it going? Yeah,
Jimmy.
Jimmy, where are you calling out of, bro?
I am calling from a little bit north of Houston, Texas, actually.
North of Houston. All right, welcome to the show.
Yeah, just to give you some background, my wife went to Texas. All of her family. I am definitely a lone wolf out here, but that's okay. It's still fun. Something that I've wanted to express, and I appreciate this opportunity. I remember, I'm originally from Mobile, and I remember going to Senior Bowl practice, and this is back in the dark ages. I want to say the very late 80s. And there was a Bama lineman, offensive lineman, and I was watching a drill, and he was up against an Auburn defensive lineman, and the Auburn guy was just kicking his tail. I mean, it was ugly. He couldn't stop him. The NFL guys got with the guy, took him off to the side for a minute, worked with him, threw him back in there, and he blocked that guy every time. So that tells me they didn't suddenly give him talent. They taught him some techniques. And I really worry about that with our offensive linemen. I don't know that our guys aren't good. I do worry about their coaching. I do worry about the schemes. And I'm not throwing this at DeBoer at all. We all need to remember when Urban Meyer came into the SEC, he got his ass kicked around a little bit. And I think it might be the same for DeBoer. I mean, but it is a different era. But ultimately, it still comes down to blocking and tackling, and who can do that the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care if the stars thing to me is almost irrelevant anymore.
Yeah. Yep.
If you've got a 3-star and you can coach him, you've got a good player. If you've got a 5-star and you can't coach him, you really don't have anything. And I mean, it's just, especially. I mean, I'm in my 60s, and I've been a Bama fan since probably before I actually came out of my mother. I probably listened to games, but it's I don't like the way things are now, but that doesn't mean that they're going to change. It's just how it is. And I love the guy I heard listening here on the phone. It's very hard when money's involved to develop any loyalty or unity to the team, to the standard. I think maybe that does come from getting a few Bama guys in there as position coaches to set that standard. And I don't care if you're paying a guy $1 million a year, if he's not performing, I mean, you gotta be able to get rid of him, or you've got to find somebody that can. And it's just really a crazy time, obviously. Yeah, I think that's all I've got. I'm just
No, I think if you go back through the comment box, Jimmy, a lot of people have been calling for Coach Kapilovic. And the more and more, because I've been on the whole Ryan Grubb deal, right? I've been pulling up the stats, and I think there is definitely some truth there. But the more that I listen to people and I read through the comment box, my goodness, they're making me swing to the offensive line as being, almost 50% of that as well. And the running backs, I think we didn't have like an overly dynamic running back this year, or the best running back was banged up or whatever it was. But I think now I'm starting to see, by reading the comments and listening to the calls, you guys are making great points. A lot of this was on the offensive line and the lack of production. I started thinking about it. I was like, most of these guys have been here 2 years. Well, they've been associated with Coach Kapilovic, and we would have thought those guys would have been better. Caden Proctor was always going to be Caden Proctor because he's just, a genetic freak. He's just the guy, right? But, I mean, Wilcom Formby, that experiment didn't work. Parker Brailsford, did he grow leaps and bounds from when he got here to this year? Not necessarily. He kind of stayed the same, right? Cam Dewberry, he wasn't part of Kapilovic because he just came here and then kind of plug and play type guy. But other guys, in terms of development, I don't know. So that's why people calling for Coach Cap, 100%. But I appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling in, Jimmy. Yeah, appreciate the call from North Houston.
Right, bye-bye.
Yep, see ya. All right, North Houston. All right. Okay, 540 or 540. Is that okay if I said the air codes like that? 540. Hey, thanks for
Kyle, Major from Virginia. How you doing? Sorry.
It's okay. What's your name?
I'm Major.
What's up, Major? I appreciate you calling from Virginia. Go ahead, bro.
I've been a Bama fan since I could walk too. My granddad played for Bear Bryant.
Yeah? Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
And we did lose to Indiana 3-2.
38.
31, I think, or 32. We were healthy, but I just think Indiana was better than us that day. And I just don't know what we did wrong that game. But I think the offensive line did good, and this Tyson should have went down, and I think that just fought apart.
What are you excited to see most about? Hey, Major, let me ask you this. What are you most excited to see from the quarterbacks going into this next year? Who's your favorite? You got Austin Mack, you got Keelan Russell. What'd you think?
I like Keelan Russell.
Yeah?
I think he could start over Austin Mack because I haven't really watched Austin Mack as much as I watched Russell because I looked up like his high school videos and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm getting excited for next year. I think Kalen DeBoer is going to be way better. This is his second time in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, Major. I'll answer on the other line, man. But you bring up a really good point. Is like I think a lot of people, if you do step out and you look to Coach Kalen DeBoer, like in his second year getting to the SEC title game, I know that's like the standard to like everybody, but doing that in year 2 in this climate is crazy. But thanks for calling in, Major. I appreciate it, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right,
you
man.
have a good one.
You too, brother. All right, happy Friday to you. Right? Am I right? Getting the SEC championship in year 2 is crazy. I mean, think about the team. Think about this. Ole Miss didn't even make the SEC championship game, and I know it's because of placement or whatever. But still. All right, 607. Let's do it.
Hey, Kyle. Good morning. This is Bob from Gulfport calling.
Rob,
enjoy the show.
Man? Yeah, I appreciate it. Welcome
All right.
in. Yeah.
Okay, just a few points. First point, everybody's been talking about the offensive line coach.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he's got to go. We all know that. As Bill Parcells once said, you are what your record says you are.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's been there 2 years, and the running game sucks.
Yeah.
So he's got to go. What concerns me, though, is that we haven't heard any names mentioned as a possible replacement.
Mm-hmm.
No leaks anywhere, nothing at all. And I'm beginning to think that the board did not have a backup plan for this. I mean, this guy's watching the entire season as we are, and he doesn't know that there's an issue with the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that when Saban was coach, if one coach left or was let go, man, he was right on the phone calling up a whole bunch of guys that he had written down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And as far as the transfers are concerned, these are the guys that I'm happy with, and I'm going to give you a surprise at the end with this one. I like Hollywood Smothers.
Okay.
I think he's going to be the running back, the starting running back. And, of course, Caleb Woodson. I'm expecting big things from him.
Yep.
And if you get an offensive line coach and we concentrate on the running game, I like Josh Ford as tight end. He's not going to be a tight end / wide receiver. We don't need that. We need a tight end, period. And he's going to block. He's going to be an H-back. He's going to be just like an offensive lineman.
Hey, Rob, can I interrupt you real quick? There's a big name that just hit the transfer portal. All right, fam. What do you guys think about this name? You ready for this, Rob? Justice Haynes has just entered the transfer portal. So that is just out there from Hayes Fawcett of On3. Justice Haynes.
That's crazy.
In the portal, right, Rob? What I mean, look, Justice Haynes, I wanted to see him blossom, and he did blossom the next year at Michigan. He was one of the most dynamic running backs, right? He got injured in the back end. I think he ran for like 800 yards or something like that. But, man, I think that might tell me is something with the head coach, maybe. I don't know. What's your initial reaction, fam, inside the comment box about Justice Haynes? Do you welcome some? Do you offer? I don't know. Rob, any take on Justice Haynes? Is that ship sailed? I mean, are we chasing an old ex-girlfriend there?
No, we're not. I don't think we're going to get Justice Haynes again.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But this portal's nuts. What about that guy from Washington, that quarterback?
That was crazy. Well, he learned something. Go ahead.
He signed a $4 million contract. Then he changes his mind. Of course, some team offered him $6 million. He's 19 stinking years old. And he was offered $4 million.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he got a lesson.
Josh Ford.
He got a lesson in becoming an adult and signing a contract. Go ahead, Rob. Josh Ford.
Yeah, there used to be a tight end from Alabama named Howard Cross. He was drafted by the Giants, my football Giants, and he couldn't catch. He could not catch, right? But he could block like the Dickens. And every year, a New York paper would say, well, the Giants have drafted this guy to replace Howard Cross. For 13 years, they tried. They couldn't do it. And we need somebody like a Howard Cross who can block, who can hit people, who's not a tight end / wide receiver. Then we get the running game going. And as far as the offensive line coach, he's got to go. I mean, that's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Kyle, is that a no-brainer?
Yeah. Well, I think, and the interesting part is like, where are the replacements? I think Todd inside the comment box has mentioned there's a rumor kind of floating around that the Missouri offensive line coach, they're gonna I don't know, not swap, but he's gonna be the guy. I don't know. To be honest, I haven't even seen that outside of like what Todd brought here. I don't know. And this is the thing, Rob. I'm like, they're having Coach Kapilovic recruit all these linemen, and what are they saying? Hey, this is the guy that's going to show you around Tuscaloosa and take you to, Chuck's Fish, and then after that, he's out of here, and we can't tell you who the new O-line coach is, but he's going to be great, right? It seems weird to be kind of bringing in, because you need offensive linemen. Who do you think's recruiting them? It's Coach Kapilovic.
I know.
Right?
I don't know. If we bring this guy back again, forget about it.
All right, and all right, Rob. We got to go, man. But I appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling in.
I enjoyed talking. Thanks for taking me.
Yeah, no
Bye.
doubt. All right, 706 and 940. Hang tight. We just got some breaking news in. Alabama has just landed a punter, a new commitment, and that is Adam Watford has committed to the Tide. Okay, so that is a new offer, and we will add him to the list. So Adam Watford has just committed to Alabama, right? Over here in the bottom left, I'll go full screen while I do some editing real quick, and then we'll continue with the calls. But Adam Watford has just committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide, so that is your punter for, I would imagine that would be the starting punter. I guess we'll have to see if he can be like the absolute guy, but that's pickup for the Crimson Tide today. And now Alabama has had, I think, 7 in the tank. So we'll go right here and we will add the punter right here, which is Adam Watford out of North Alabama. Averaged 41.3, I think, yards per punt. Adam Watford. All right. And he is a punter. 1 second. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Update the graphic. Okay. All right. We got him. Okay, so he's down here on the bottom left. You guys should see that graphic now, I think. All right. So Adam Watford is in. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 commitments. No, 7, right? 7 commitments now. You got your punter. Adam Watford has just committed. All right, we'll go back to the phone lines. What do you guys think about the punter? 43.6 yards per punt. You guys like it? Let me know inside the comment box. All right, back to the phone lines, 940. Hey, thanks for calling in. You're online with Kyle Henderson. Who am I online with, and where are you calling in from?
What's going on, man? This is Travis here in Vernon, Texas.
Hey, what's up, Travis? I appreciate you calling, man. Welcome to the show.
What's up, man? I was just wondering where y'all think Cam Coleman's going to go.
Well, I mean, if you ask me just straight up, I know people in Texas just like straight answers. I think Bama, right? I think that there's a narrative that Bama's broke. I don't think that. Look, Bama's gonna, if Bama wanted to make it work, they will make it work, in my opinion. And we'll see what happens. I think that Bama's certainly in play, and I think one thing, Travis, that certainly helps Bama is the fact that they got his position coach here, who's now he's going to be a co-offensive coordinator, right? So I think Bama. What about you, Travis? You think it's going to be one of the Texas schools? Because I get it. Like, Bama has money, but you're going against Tech. You're going against all these schools. What are your thoughts?
Correct.
Go ahead, bro.
They're saying Bama broke. Bama's not broke. That's
right.
That's a lie. But I think it will be one of the Texas schools. I do believe that. But with y'all losing y'all's best receiver or so-called best receiver, I think that may be a story coming on there.
Who is that again, Travis? I don't know what happened to Travis. Travis, I don't know what happened to. Phone line is open, by the way, if you guys want to call in. I'm just adding some breaking news real quick on this side, as Alabama has just added a punter in Adam Watford. What do you guys think? Are we happy about this punter? How about Justice Haynes going into the transfer portal, right? All right, 1 second. Alabama adds punter Adam Watford, 43 average, 18 inside 20. Boom. Okay. That's added. All right. We cool on calls for today? Is that it? That's fine with me. That might be a good stopping point anyways. We had a good volume of calls. Adam Watford has just committed to Alabama. So we'll count them up real quick. We got Josh Ford in the house, committed in December. You got Hollywood Smothers, right? He's a running back that committed on Monday. You have Caleb Woodson, inside linebacker that committed. I don't even know what day it was. It was sometime this week. Devin Tompkins, all these days kind of running the same. Caden Strayhorn is in, and you have Ethan Tangle. That was yesterday. You get your long snapper, and today you get Adam Watford, your punter. So starting to build together. Literally, this is crazy. We're literally like building a team, you know? I mean, you know they're not going to take a quarterback, but shoot, we just have a couple more positions and we'll build ourselves a second string or some of them, right? So here we go. This is where we're at. And then to kind of recap kind of where we're at, Ty Haywood is in, okay? Jordan Ross committed to LSU. Jimothy Lewis has been predicted, kind of waiting on that. DJ Chester visiting today. He's from LSU. Cam Coleman, waiting on Coleman. Brock Riker, he's been offered. We got a new commitment today from Adam Watford. That just took place right now. I have to fix that. Carmelo O'Neal, he's visiting today. Tony Diaz is a really hot name that everybody's interested in. You got a kicker that's in, originally from Ireland, and he's in transfer portal from Marshall. And you got a tight end out of New Haven, a Division II school, and then Jacarius Peak committed to South Carolina. So that's kind of where we stand right here throughout, what is this, Friday, January 9th? Look, fam, I would say stay close, okay, to the notifications, all right, because we will see the news as it happens, all right? I would imagine that this day isn't done by any means. I mean, this is just kind of the morning part, right? So we'll see what happens, and I appreciate you guys kicking it with me inside the comment box. As always, right here on Bama Football on YouTube is fun. I appreciate the calls. Getting the new call volume in is great, right? Because we have our regular callers, but I think it's good to hear different points of view as always. So if you like the show, and last night we kind of experimented with a watch along. The watch along is dope, and I don't have a problem doing it tonight for Indiana and Oregon. Are you guys interested in that? The problem is I'm very diligent in my work for like Wake Up Bama. So I put a lot into that podcast, and it takes, you know, a good amount for me to sit there and edit and make sure everything's clean for the morning run. So, and I want to have up-to-date information, you know, so if I cut it and then news happens, it's kind of difficult to go back and like pinpoint it down. So, yeah, I'll figure it out, right? Change his name to Titan Kyle. What's up, Titan? I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, all right? But maybe I'll come back. But I definitely, as news happens, you know, I got you covered all the time. And, you know, we'll figure it out. And then plus I wake up super early for my workouts and stuff, whatever. And I'm working on new emojis. I don't like where we're at from an emoji standpoint. So those are other things that I'm working at as well. Okay. All right, fam. Well, thank you so much for kicking it with me today right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you very much for being a fan funder. You can hit the join button. It helps support the product and me as I'm a full-time, you know, covering Bama full-time. Like, that is my job, right? All this stuff, this is what I do all day long. So I appreciate you guys kicking it with me. As news happens, I'm either live or I got a video. You know how it works. Follow the Facebook channel as well. Treat that kind of like my website. So thank you so much. You like the graphics, like the updates, you like kicking it with me, let me know inside the comment box. Drop a thumbs up. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on this fine Friday, January 9th. The news doesn't stop. I got you covered right here at Bama Football on YouTube. Be good people. Enjoy your life. And we'll catch you next time right here on Bama Football on YouTube. See you, fam. Buzzer beater. Yo, Broderick with the buzzer beater super chat, man. Oh, you got one more minute out of me, man. Thanks, Broderick. I appreciate you, man. Yo, killer, bro. Leading punter is 49. I like that. The punter was a nice pickup, right? Long snapper yesterday, punter today. Well, let me ask you this before I leave. Will there be another commitment today? Yes or no? Inside the comment box. Yes or no? Will there be another commitment today? I don't know. Feel Good Friday? I don't know. We'll see. All right. Take it easy, fam. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. See ya.